Welcome to the Lehigh Valley Transit Volume 2. This 55-minute program will look back at the major city routes which comprise the LVT system in eastern Pennsylvania. Beginning in Allentown, continuing east through Bethlehem and terminating in Easton, Pennsylvania, our program will show scenes from the late 40s and early 1950s until a cessation of operations in June of '53. Included are a mixture of black and white and color scenes of revenue service, fan trips, freight motors, and maintenance of way cars. After the service was ended, there are scenes of cars going to scrap at the Bethlehem Steel Company in Bethlehem, PA. Our routes will start in Allentown, go northwest to Greenawalds, north through Fullerton and Catasauqua to Northampton, east on the Bethlehem-Mincy Trail, and then branch to Hellertown and Easton. The Lehigh and Northampton Transit Authority bus garage at 12th and Cumberland in South Allentown was once the Fairview car barn of the Lehigh Valley Transit Company. And it is here that we begin our journey with views of cars waiting to go into revenue service, while others wait to go to scrap. Mitzi, the shop mascot dog, loved to ride the cars as they were moved about in the shop area, and at times she would even ride along to pick up a motorman or bring in a disabled car. This group of rail fans is being interviewed as they prepare to leave on a fan trip to mark the second to last day of service on June 7, 1953. Later in the program, we'll ride along with this fan trip as they cover most of the active sections of the trolley system. Leaving Fairview, The cars crossed the 8th Street Bridge to reach Center Square in downtown Allentown. Today, the trolleys have been supplanted by buses, but much of the square remains the same as it was 4 decades ago. The Soldiers and Sailors Monument on Center Square at 7th and Hamilton Streets in Allentown was the hub of the LVT system. Traveling westbound from Center Square, we begin our tour of the Greenawalds line at 17th and Chew Streets, opposite the Allentown Fairground and the Allentown Hospital. Beginning our tour of the Greenawalds lines, a revenue service car passes the fairgrounds. Continuing out from Allentown, a revenue car passes a fantrip car parked at Highland Siding. The trip continues past Kratzer's Siding. Moving along Albright Avenue, the cars pass Greenwood Cemetery. After turning onto Chew, the cars pass the Greenwood Siding. After crossing Whitehall Avenue, the cars approach the Kratzer School. Car 911 comes around the corner at the legendary Keystone Trail Inn. Many years later, the trolleys are gone, but the restaurant continues today as O'Toole's. Passing overhead is Highway 22. At Whitehall Siding, the cars leave the highway and bear left on the Greenawalds line. After slowly passing through Highland Siding, the cars turned onto private right-of-way which paralleled Main Boulevard. Running on private right-of-way next to Albright Avenue in Allentown, the car crosses 20th Street. Crossing Liberty Street on Albright Avenue, the landmark Kern's Restaurant is visible on the left and remains there today. In South Whitehall Township, car 915 approaches the end of the Greenawalds line. This location can be found today near the corner of Laufer and Albright Avenue. In the background in the brick and frame building was the Old Economy grocery store. Going east from Center Square in Allentown, a spur went into the riverfront section. Here was the freight terminal for the LVT. Cars from Easton, Bethlehem, and Philadelphia picked up and dropped off their cargo. The last freight service ended on September 6, 1951, when service to Norristown was halted on the Liberty Bell route. The LVT also had an interchange point with the Lehigh Valley Railroad. Here we see two of the 4 Easton Limited cars being loaded for shipment to Milwaukee. Cars 1100 and 1102 were shipped, while numbers 1101 and 1103 were scrapped at the Fairview Car Barn. Here, a trolley motor freight pulls out of the facility past a Reading Company trailer. From Allentown, we travel north to Fullerton Junction, the beginning of the Fullerton, Catasauqua, and Northampton route. Today, the junction at 3rd and Park looks much as it did in the late 40s. Motorman John Conroy is coming from a small convenience store as a helpful rider moves the car up for him. car 952 passes through the cornfield siding at the Fullerton city limit. In Fullerton, 422 passes through Steckel siding. Coming off the Race Street Bridge over the Lehigh Valley Railroad, the cars climb West Catasauqua Hill. Onboard footage takes us back down the hill towards the Race Street Bridge. Today we can see that same hill and the new structure that replaced the Race Street Bridge over the Lehigh Valley Railroad. Traveling east, the trolleys crossed over the Lehigh Valley Railroad and then across the Lehigh River. After coming off the Lehigh River Bridge, the trolley crossed the CNJ tracks and then over the Lehigh Coal and Navigation Company Canal. In Catasauqua, 952 turns onto Front Street. Farther down Front Street, a car crosses the tracks of the Lehigh and New England Railroad. At Hockendockwa Junction, Walter Ensley helps back pole 952 through the Frog. In Catasauqua, a car turns in front of the LVT substation at 3rd and Grove, which is still standing today. Leaving Catasauqua, the cars head towards Dry Run Trestle. Today, the area of Dry Run Trestle is a residential neighborhood. When the trestle was standing, it sat above a leg of a Central Railroad of New Jersey wide. Dry Run was the only trestle on the LVT that had an all-wooden support structure. In this view in Northampton, the trolley is crossing the Northampton and Bath Railroad. From the other angle, you can see the Northampton and Bath offices and station. Finally, in Northampton, Pennsylvania, the trolley reached the end of its line. Our next route is the Bethlehem-Mincy Trail line, which began in Allentown, went east through Bethlehem to the Mincy Trail Junction at Broad Street and Stefco Boulevard on the east side of Bethlehem. Here, cars to Hellertown turned right, while cars to Easton turned left. Car 911 moves along Hanover Avenue on the western end of the line in Allentown. Following behind is a vintage Sunoco gas delivery truck Note the old-style logo with the arrow straight through the diamond. In Allentown, a trolley stops to discharge passengers. In August of 1949, on the west end of Broad Street in Bethlehem, a sand car moves along to lay down sand over the tracks to protect them before road resurfacing. Going south from Mincy Trail Junction, we arrive in Hellertown on the Hellertown line. In 40 years, little has changed. The fountain has remained the same, and the Mobil formerly was Mobil Gas. .15 approaches the Philadelphia, Bethlehem, and New England Railroad Bridge, which still dominates the street scene as it has for decades. Traveling back to Bethlehem on the Hellertown line, cars operate through the airport siding. In Bethlehem, cars climb Daly Avenue past the Bethlehem Steel Company. At the top of Daly Avenue, the LVT used a street bridge to cross the Reading Railroad. Traveling between the Bethlehem Steel Company and the Reading Railroad, the LVT passes through its gas house siding. The Easton line of the LVT also began at the Mincy Trail Junction. It swung onto private right-of-way, which later became Stefco Boulevard. Leaving its private right-of-way, the The LVT then headed for the William Penn Highway. Moving along the highway at Buttstown, two cars find themselves in heavy traffic. En route to Easton, cars operate through the country club siding. At the Candy Factory siding, trolley fans line up to get their photos. The Candy Factory that the siding was named for is visible in the background. A trolley freight sits on the siding while a revenue car passes by. Only freight cars C5, C6, and C7 were used in Easton service. Moving along the William Penn Highway, we approach the site of the old Farmersville crossing. At the crossing, the LVT was forced to move to the other side of the highway. The LVT President's car, number 812, carries fans through the crossing. Eastbound at Farmersville is car number 917, fresh out of the paint shop on the last day of Easton service on August 14th, 1949. Continuing along the William Penn Highway, the LVT came to Wharton Siding at the crest of a hill. In the background is visible the Dixie Cup factory. After leaving Wharton, the cars would pass underneath the eastern and northern branch of the Lehigh Valley Railroad. Near the Easton Hospital, cars operate through the 25th Street siding. Today, the LVT's Easton Car Barn at 17th and Washington has survived handsomely and is now used to restore classic automobiles. In earlier days, 2 trolley freights operate behind the car barn headed towards the freight facility. A trolley pulls off of Washington Street, headed for the barn. As a modern bus pulls from the curb at 6 in Northampton and Easton, we see that little has changed from the 40s. The hotel in the rear looms as it has for decades. Here the trolley passes the hotel and moves on to Walnut Street from 6th and Northampton. The end of the Easton line was Center Square in Easton. Here the trolley ran around the square and began its trip back to Mincy Trail Junction. On the right is a rare view of a CNJ bus passing the trolley. In a sign of things to come, LVT buses move ahead of the trolley. The green bus is a Tri-City Coach Lines bus, predecessor of the Transbridge line to New York City. Back in Allentown, the South Bethlehem line begins on St. John Street, which was home to several LVT motormen. This new footage was taken from the front steps of Charles Hauser Sr.'s home. 40 years ago, from an upstairs window, we see a trolley operating on St. John Street. Continuing down St. John Street, a South Bethlehem car passes a Liberty Bell car en route to the Aneyville Viaduct, which carried the LVT over the Reading Railroad. Leaving Aneyville, The R1 line car moves into position for some overhead maintenance work. Onboard footage leaving Aneyville shows the car moving up Priscilla and Woodward Streets en route to Aneyville Junction. At the junction, fans were backpoling the car into the stub siding because they were not sure if there was power in the wire. If the car stopped, they could still use the other pole to reverse direction. At the Bradford Street siding, a revenue car passes a Philadelphia Division car, which is towing a car to scrap. Here cars travel through rural eastern Pennsylvania countryside between Allentown and South Bethlehem. .957 moves through a straightaway known as Race Course. Coming around the bend, 957 then moves into Stallnecker's siding. Moving westbound, car number 926 passes the Morningside Terrace stop. Fan trip car number 957 takes a siding as 915 moves through Goff siding on its way to Bethlehem. Cars pass through Fountain Hill Borough on their way to South Bethlehem to begin the return trip. In 1953, 2 fan trips were held to mark the end of service. On the second to last day of service on June 7th, a trip was organized for the regular rail fans. So many signed up that it was necessary to run 2 cars. The object was to cover as much of the remaining track as possible on the day-long ride. Arriving at the hub in Allentown, the first leg of the trip was towards the Mincy Trail Junction. Moving down Hamilton Street, the 2 cars passed the Lehigh Valley Railroad Station and then the CNJ Railroad Station and its tracks. Dressed in black crepe, number 932 passes the ever-present Wismer brothers following them on this trip. Still in Allentown, we pass car number 951 being operated by senior motorman Jerry Metzger. Arriving at Mincy Trail Junction, the fan trip turns right onto the Hellertown line. Moving downhill from the junction, they head over the Mincy Trail Bridge for the last time. Instead of just reversing the cars to head back over the bridge, the fans move on to a little-used siding to turn the cars around. The bus to Hellertown passes right on by. The trip continues into Bethlehem along Broad Street. At Broad Street and Linden, they turn towards Liberty High School. Moving back on Broad Street in Bethlehem, they pass an area of downtown Bethlehem, which today is a pedestrian mall closed to vehicles. The trip then arrives at Central Park, which years before had been an amusement park owned by the LVT. At the siding, 932 is given a 21 torpedo salute, which was organized by Gerhard Solomon. Back in Allentown, the fans are crossing over on Hamilton Street to begin their trip on the Fullerton line. The trip pauses at 2nd and Hamilton, while 901 in Revenue Service passes by. At the Fullerton city limits, the cars operate through the cornfield siding. The very young motorman operating 932 at Cornfield is Richard Person. The end of the day brings us back to Allentown, to the hub. The cars then move along 6th Street, the back way to the Fairview car barns. At 6th and Hamilton, Gerhard Solomon keeps an eye on the switches as the car makes the turn. LVT Inspector Dispatcher Guy Kutzler wields a broom to clean out the track. Final day, June 8th, only dignitaries could get aboard the bunting-covered official last car. Politicians and friends followed a police escort over the Bethlehem-Mincy trail line, returning to Allentown. "912 approaches the old Central Park, in between Allentown and Bethlehem, for the final ceremonies. In a ceremony that resembled Promontory Point in image only, trolley service ended in the Lehigh Valley. Following the ceremony, the car then moved to 8th and Hamilton, where the final revenue car preceded the official car to the Fairview car barn, and an era of public transportation quietly faded into history. The beginning of the end had cars lined up on St. John Street, headed for scrap. The scrapping of the cars was a large project, as the LVT had over 100 cars in its fleet. Scrapping continued over the South Bethlehem line until it was abandoned on October 26th of 1952. Following that, cars went via the Bethlehem-Mincy Trail line until the last 3 cars went to scrap on June 12, 1953 at the Bethlehem Steel Company. In this rare scene in Fountain Hill Borough, center cab work car F1 moves from storage in Souderton to scrap at Bethlehem. At the steel plant, the cars break contact with the wire and coast into the yards to gather together for one last time before meeting the steel scrapper's torch.